Good morning, everyone. This is Christopher Kelly, managing producer for NJ.com, joined with our food dude, Pete Genovese. We have a very, very exciting morning ahead of us. We are about to announce the 10 burgers that are finalists for our search for New Jersey's single best burger. Pete, before we dig into the finalists, let's build a little anticipation for the folks just jumping onto Meerkat. Tell us a little bit about how we got to this point.
So it's a search for the New Jersey's best burger. Similar to what we did with our best bar project over the winter. We asked for nominations. We got hundreds and hundreds of nominations. We had a poll, more than 300 burger places.
And the nominations came from fancy restaurants,
fancy hole in the walls and everything
bars,
in between, and all kinds of burgers too. Burgers span the burger spectrum. So people voted, and 5 categories. Top 5 vote getters from each category became 25 of the finalists. I picked the other 25. 50 burger places.
50 semifinalists. That
50
left us with
semifinalists.
50 semifinalists. Talk a little bit about some of the categories we drew in. We were looking for suggestions in
best burger joint, best restaurant burger, best specialty or veggie burger, best. My mind is swimming with burgers right now,
of course.
so I'm forgetting to.
But it was really, the point I'm trying to draw out was we were looking for a broad cross section,
and everyone was eligible. Chains were allowed. The hole in the wall, independent mom and pop places, any place that made a burger.
And even veggie burgers. We make fun of the vegetarians.
No, you made fun of the veggie burgers. I didn't make fun of no veggie burgers.
I always make fun
of
them. But even those were you tried a couple of veggie burgers as well. So
all kinds of meat, veggie, whatever, turkey. Yes.
Okay, so we get to 50 semifinalists, and it begins. You begin tasting.
Yes.
What happens?
Burger. Well, we had an explosion in my mouth the other day where they had promised an explosion in my mouth, and it never really actually happened.
It was like 4th of July fireworks.
But 2 burgers at each place. Basically, we asked the people, the owners are almost always there, managers, bartenders, whatever. Give us your 2 best burgers, or can you recommend your most popular, your best? Tell us the burgers that show off your place the best. And so we went from there. One place now we had 100. One place we had 1 burger, and I made up for that. Another place we had 3. So we had exactly. I don't want to have like 99 burgers.
Correct.
We had to go 100 burgers. So I had exactly 100 burgers. 100
burgers.
Yes.
At what point? And we can show folks like these are. I mean, this is just a file of some of the menus and the map. Yeah. And that's just a fraction. At what point do the burgers? I mean, do they start tasting the same? Is it hard to distinguish?
No, because they're all over the map. Again, they're all over. These fancy. I mean, people have been following. Saw some of the photos. These 8-inch high burgers made of onion rings. That look like the Eiffel Tower, and then tiny little sliders at a couple places. Thin slider, White Castle type sliders. And everything in between, and all kinds of toppings, all kinds of sauces, even the rolls were different. I mean, there really was. I mean, you're sort of tasting the same thing over and over again, but with variations on a theme. And they were all over the map, the burger map, all these burgers. So it was easy to. It wasn't easy to pick.
I have a question.
Oh,
someone wanted to know about who had the best fries and or onion rings.
I think we're going to get into this like we did with the bars. But down the road, we're going to give special categories.
Yeah. We don't want to pick favorites this early on, but maybe you can mention a few that stood out. I don't think that would.
But I think some of them might be the finalists. So, but onion ring.
All right, we're going to come back to that.
Let's come back to
we
this.
will hang with us.
Right.
Question
and
answer.
I'll give it some thought. We'll give it some thought.
Pete, again, this to me, I mean, not to do that there are no losers, but it sounds to me like this really is a testament to the diversity of Jersey burger chefs out there, the different things they're trying, old school, new school. It really does seem like a real celebration of all the good stuff that's out there.
Absolutely, and people have made much of the sort of the burger renaissance in the last couple of years. I think in Jersey, burgers have always been with us. I mean, and chefs are sort of pushing the envelope where they can. They're seeing trends, they're doing things. These giant burgers or exotic ingredients, funky meats. But I think it was tougher to pick the 10 finalists here than I did with bars. because there were so many. I mean, there were really only 2 or 3 burgers that I eliminated right from the beginning. The rest were in the contention.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was up till last night still fiddling around with the list, and I was almost ready to change my mind this morning coming up the Parkway, but I said, enough, we got to pick 10. So, again, if you're not on the list, chances are you made a really good burger. It was just almost impossible to pick.
These are sort of gradations of really good, good, really good, really good, like very, very subtle distinctions. Okay, so folks are watching on Meerkat. We want to give them time to join in. We're going to stretch this out a little bit longer. We have we're going to announce our 10 finalists for New Jersey's Best Burger. We're going to announce those 10 finalists in just a minute. But
we going on a commercial break here?
First, a musical number. First, what are we going to do next? Let's jump ahead. So once these 10 finalists are announced, what's going to happen next?
So tomorrow we start the visits to the finalists. 10 finalists, round. 2 a day. In the Munchmobile, people who entered our burger selfie contest will join us later in the week. We have a couple other groups earlier, and we will take the world's biggest hot dog in search of the New Jersey's Best Burger.
You're gonna jump in your big van with a big hot dog on it, and you are gonna go to 2 places each night, and you're gonna have a sort of panel of helpers. They're not gonna be the judges, but they're gonna be able to lobby to influence.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I still make the final decision, but they can. And again, the burger. I remember these. Obviously, these are all great burgers, and I remember them being right at the top. But they, we'll see if there's any slippage.
Sure.
There could be that. So, again, what we did with bars, we go back a second time and look at them in a new eye, and our crew's going to come along and help me. We like this, like that, and then So.
And in effect, the slate is wiped clean. It's
Absolutely.
like the Miss America pageant. You get to the final round, we've wiped the scores clean.
You're judged on this week. This is your big owners, all your burger joint owners out there. You brought your A game last time. You got to bring the A+ game this time.
Is there one in your head of these 10 finalists that's a favorite right now that's really looking good to go the distance? No.
They're all right there. They're all right there. And I could have picked another 10 easily. I wish we could have done 20 best burgers, but I don't think I'd want to stretch this thing out another week or two because I'm getting burgeritis. Something. We're fast approaching burger. Something. That point, the wall. Marathon runners hit that wall.
I think it's called a heart attack, Pete.
No. You won't believe how many people became my doctor online. You should check your blood pressure. You should check. This is a sign of that. This is a sign of that. Somebody said, I think you're gonna die or something like that. No, I have no plan to die.
They meant that in a good way.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, last point before we get to the finalists. Before you started this, Pete, you made what I called a somewhat quixotic, somewhat brash prediction. That
you had to bring this up.
I had to bring it up. I had to bring this up. You made the prediction that during the course of this judging, and it's not done, you got another week, but that during the course of this judging, you would not merely maintain your weight, but you would lose 10 pounds. And I was, on behalf of all of NJ.com's readers, I think, justifiably skeptical. Give us an update.
We're still slightly under. I mean, let the record show now. 10 pounds. I said I would lose 10 pounds eating 100 burgers, which is, forget the super size me guy. Because he killed himself anyway. Yep. But he didn't. I mean, he didn't do 100 burgers. He did Big Macs, whatever, but not 100. So 100 burgers in 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks, lose 10 pounds. Sounded good on paper, and I lost initially 4 pounds. The first couple of days, I had dropped 4 pounds, and then we sort of had a burger relapse or something. I don't know what happened there. I think I made the mistake of actually eating the rest of the week. Maybe that was my mistake. So right now we're like a pound, maybe a pound and a half under.
Okay.
Still under.
Still
lost weight.
Impressive.
But again, I have a week, so I might do a couple marathons. Might do some sauna, whatever can
Turkish
whatever can.
I like that.
Quick weight loss.
Anthony, do we have any other questions from the readers? Any other questions?
No, but we do have a comment that says Hamburgow has the best burger I've ever had in New Jersey.
Yeah, they're good.
We'll see if it's on the finalist
list. It's a Brazilian burger place in Newark and also in Kearney. And Hamburgow, of course, means big burger in Portuguese.
Oh. You learn a little Portuguese during the course of this meerkat. Okay, we have delayed the gratification. It is time to announce the 10 finalists for NJ's Best Burgers. Pete, give us the first finalist.
Okay, we'll pick at random. We've got, what did I say? Cheeseburger with Monterey Jack at the Blue Monkey Tavern, Merchantville, South Jersey.
Blue Monkey Tavern. So this is down in South Jersey.
South Jersey, outside of Camden.
And this is a more traditional kind of classic burger.
Classic, yeah. Well, they were one of the. They were probably the best burger. They were the best burger. We tried a bunch of burgers during the Best Bar mission. Mm-hmm. They were the best burger. So went back, just as good. Just as good. Just a plain. Well, I had put a cheeseburger on it this time. We had just a plain burger the last time, but it's just a great. It all starts with the meat. You have to have all these burgers are great pieces of meat, no matter what they're made of. And this was just a great, sort of had a great sort of charbroiled flavor to it. It was like right off the backyard grill. Monterey Jack, and Blue Monkey's a sort of a restaurant. It's kind of a nice semi-high-end restaurant. Great craft beer selection. None of that had anything to do with anything. But it was just a great. It was the best burger during the bar mission, and it lived up
still
again.
Delivering.
Yeah.
Do they, generally speaking, do these bars, do these restaurants, do they know how good their burger is? Do you think some of them don't even realize what a good job they're doing? Or they get it?
I think they do. I mean, all these places do burgers in prodigious amounts. Mm-hmm. They're pretty much what they're known for. I think they do. I think sometimes it catches them, since they're surrounded by burgers, it sort of catches them surprised, like, why are people in love with my burgers? It's just a burger. Right. Well, it obviously isn't just a burger. It's a special burger. Yeah. That's why you're on this list.
You're doing
that's
it
why well. That's why you make 300 burgers every 2 days or 5,000 burgers in a week. People love them.
Okay, props to Blue Monkey. Let's get to our second finalist.
Second finalist is 5-star burger in Shorefire Grill, Barnegat, down the shore. Barnegat in Ocean County, right on Route 9. It's kind of hidden in a strip mall. I drove right by it without realizing where it was, and a little strip mall right on Route 9 in Barnegat, right by the high school. Fairly new, been open a couple years. A luncheonette, all kinds of, sort of like a diner-like menu. But burgers are what they're known for.
What gives it what makes it 5 stars? What do they do with this?
That was their name, but it lived up to the name. Again, a great piece of meat. I forget what the blend was, and I did it with mushrooms, which is sort of basic, classic, no frills burger, mushrooms. I don't think we even had cheese. Again, quality of meat, quality meat, and a good bun.
Right.
A lot of people forget the roll. To me, especially sandwiches, deli. Whenever I'm doing a hoagie, sub, whatever, if the bread sucks, I'm not going to like your sub or hoagie. Sure. And all these burgers had great rolls. That's very important.
Yeah. No, and this is something I talked to you about last week. Sometimes great chefs talk about how they judge other great chefs on things like soup or omelets, the simple stuff. If you can do the simple things, the classic things well, that's when you're playing an A game. So props to the folks at Shorefire Grill.
The quality of the mushrooms. They weren't just canned mushrooms. Sure. They weren't out of some some bucket of mushrooms. They were clearly quality mushrooms. So again, all that made a difference.
All right, let's get to our third finalist.
We have the Munster Cheeseburger. Had a lot of good cheeseburgers on this trip. At Loaded in Garwood, Union County.
Loaded in Garwood. What? So is Loaded a burger place? It sounds like a burger.
It's a little hole in the wall. It's a burger and barbecue. They really sort of do two things, but in the basic grill, they actually expanded. They were supposed to open in Cranford over the winter. That sort of fell through. So they renovated in Garwood. They're now twice the size. Right on Center Street there, right in the center, right smack in the center of Garwood. Burgers and barbecue, but their burger was, again, great meat. And the Munster, we were there just last week at the semifinal visit, and the owner, Jacob, said, of all the cheeses, Munster, he thinks Munster goes best. I forget the reasons why, but it's something about that Munster, it's a very distinct flavor, gives it a little attitude, and I agreed. It was just that was definitely one of the best cheeseburgers.
All right, props to Loaded, our third finalist in Garwood. Pete, are you a medium rare guy? Is that your standard?
Absolutely medium rare.
Okay,
medium rare. Steak, burgers, everything.
Okay, I suspected that, but I wanted to confirm. Our fourth.
Bring me the juice. I want to see the red.
Our fourth finalist is
Inside Out Burger. Kitchen 519 in Glendora. Another
Kitchen
South Jersey. There's the menu right there.
Now, this has nothing to do with the Pixar cartoon, Inside Out.
As far as I know.
I have the menu in front of me, so I can read this. This is certified Hereford beef, stuffed gorgonzola cheese, stuffed with gorgonzola cheese and maplewood bacon, sliced vine tomatoes, arugula, caramelized onion, and a garlic aioli. I assume all the onion and tomatoes are on top. Yeah, and then it's stuffed with the gorgonzola. Yeah. All for $10. Not a bad price either.
Yeah. And this is kind of a newer place in Glendora, and it's it's a very cute place. Very sort of cute little knickknacks here and there. Very casual, and it's named 519 because the owner and his wife got married on 519.
Oh.
Yes, May 19th. So that's the name.
So this is a place, as I'm looking over the menu, not a ton of burgers on this menu, and in fact, this may be the only one.
Well, there are other burgers. At the specials, there are other burgers. 3 or 4 other burgers. Yeah.
I needed to flip over.
Yeah.
But that burger really leaped out for you. You've tried a number of stuffed burgers. This is a bit of a trend right now. What made this one stand out?
Again, quality. Again, we get back to the quality of the meat, the cheese, the way it was cooked. When I ask for a medium rare burger, if you give it to me medium or beyond that, goodbye. So it's perfectly cooked. Now, I'll admit, I'm not a big fan of caramelized onions because they're just running rampant. They're taking over the world. To me, they don't add a whole lot. I like raw onions, the caramelized, but they worked here. They worked. They weren't overcooked. They weren't sort of oily, greasy as caramelized onions can be. So they worked here. And again, everything. The applewood smoked bacon. Can't get enough bacon. And we had a couple bacon. Bacon appears on other burgers in this in the final round.
Well, this one sounds fantastic. Okay, our 5th finalist is...
We have the Buffalo Burger at Rocky Hill Inn in Rocky Hill.
The Rocky Hill Inn. Congrats to those folks. Let's talk about Buffalo Burgers.
We had,
because I hear Buffalo
leaner.
Burger, I think lean, I think dry, I think move along.
No. This is, again, this competition, all kinds of burgers, and Buffalo, it's a great, if you would have blindfolded me, I probably would not have guessed Buffalo. Not that it tastes like ground beef, but I would have been like, this is maybe not, chuck or strawberry brisket blend. What is this? What's Buffalo? And you see quite a few of the places we visited had Buffalo on their menu, so it isn't as rare as you might think, but it was just a great combination. Meat bun, I forget what others, there was a topping in there somewhere, and Rocky Hill Inn, of course, is it's a great sort of colonial bar restaurant right in the center of Rocky Hill, one of the great small towns in New Jersey, a few minutes outside of Princeton, and a destination in itself. But that Buffalo Burger was, I didn't... Nothing. Not that I had. And again, from the beginning, we didn't say it had to be beef, but I was surprised how good. Again, maybe dealing with some of the stereotypes that you just brought up, like Buffalo can't be as good as like a good beefy Angus kind of burger, but it was obviously.
All right, so props to Rocky Hill Inn, our 5th finalist. We'll be back there next week. Again, all of these 10 finalists will be visited once more before we determine the ultimate winner. Pete, our 6th finalist is...
the name kind of gives it away. The Stage Left Burger at Stage Left in New Brunswick.
I was going to guess that.
Yeah.
Pete, this is a New Brunswick classic, this place.
Yeah, a restaurant, sort of a slightly upscale restaurant. They were above the people who own it also own Catherine Lombardi, which is a cocktail bar, Italian restaurant upstairs, which was one of the semifinalists in our bar competition. But Stage Left always been acclaimed as one of the state's best burgers. That's not why they're on here. They delivered when they had to. It's just a big... Here's the difference with them. They were the only ones who used a wood-fired grill.
Wow.
The only ones that had, everybody else had flat-top grill or charcoal grill or broiler. They were the only ones who had wood grill, and we went back there. It was like 95 degrees out. We went back into the kitchen. It was like 300 degrees. And I gave my props to the chef because he had to be there basically all day in that heat in the blast furnace cooking those burgers. And they go through, again, they're a high-end restaurant, kind of a high-end restaurant, but they are known for their burger. They make, again, huge amounts of them. But again, the difference there, the taste, you could taste right away with the wood-fired grill. Vermont cheddar, great bun. They get their meat from, Pat LaFreda is a big name, but they get their name from a splitter in New York, which is sort of a well-known name, New York butcher, but doesn't quite have the cachet as Pat LaFreda. But everything came together for a near perfect cheeseburger.
Wow! Congratulations to the folks at stage left. We'll see you again next week in the final round. Pete, our 7th finalist is
the baked brie burger at the Committed Pig in Morristown.
Okay, I got all sorts of questions on this.
Why is a place named the Pig doing a burger?
Why is the place called the Committed Pig? What business does it have here?
Well, they started in Manasquan down the shore. They had a place down there for about 5 years or so. The Morristown is a newer location. Opened this year. They're supposed to open in 2014, which accounts for, when you walk in the entrance, 2014 pennies on the floor.
Huh.
Which I somehow missed when I walk in, and when the owner came out to talk to me, he goes, "Did you notice the pennies on the floor?" I'm like, "What pennies?" They were like, I was standing on them, but it looked, had that coppery look.
2014. That's
exactly.
$20 in pennies, correct?
Yes. They were that's when they were supposed to open, but I guess they had a delay or two, so they had to open up this year. They're not going to add the extra penny. They're going to stick to the 2014 penny. So when you walk in, you see the 2014 pennies. Again, this is sort of it's a burger joint. They do and milkshakes, burgers, meat in general. They do their breakfasts and brunches are well known. But that baked brie burger was...
Now, this surprised me because when I hear baked brie, I think of that somewhat antiquated appetizer course, nosh course where it's
like a goat cheese or something.
Yeah,
sort of
and what does that have to do with a burger?
Again, the combination, the brie. I think what kind of pushed it over the top, they had a little fig preserve on top instead of, or anything else, or just some sort of fancy salt. Just a nice basic fig preserve. Sure. And the brie and sort of that melty. It had a great sort of melty, cheesy quality to it. Just talk about explosion in your mouth. This was just something in here. It was just a great combination of different kinds of flavors and textures.
I'm really another thing. It's so interesting to me, the mix here, because you're talking a little more. Here's a more gourmet kind of thing, but then we have the basic. I mean, it's really cutting right across the
all kinds of burgers in here.
There.
These weren't fancy burgers. They weren't designer burgers. A couple of them were sort of complicated, and a couple were very basic, and everything in between. So
okay, well done, Committed Pig. We have 3 more, but first I want to take a break. Anthony, any other questions, comments?
Not really.
We will take them.
A lot of retweets.
Yeah. If you guys have questions and comments as we're going through our list, definitely send them in. Pete, number 8 on our finalist list is
Bacon Cheeseburger at Krug's Tavern in Newark.
So this is one a lot of New Jersey burger watchers were waiting for, expecting. I think there would have been a little bit of a scandal if this wasn't on the list. True or false?
True, but also there are a lot of other big names that were also left off this list. I can just see the cards and letters now in the emails. How dare you leave something? But Krug's was. I mean, if people following me for more than 5 minutes, they know I've liked Krug's for a long time. Sure. I've been writing about this place for about 20 years. It's in the Ironbound, of course, known for Spanish and Portuguese restaurants. This is sort of a divey neighborhood bar right almost at the corner of Wilson and just off Ferry Street, the main drag in the Ironbound. It goes back to the 30s. And they make a great burger on a grill that's smaller than this table, and they just big giant burgers from a local meat supplier. Yeah. They get it fresh from a butcher. That's all it is. And you get here are your options at Krug's: cheese and bacon. That's it. Those are the only options.
They're not fussing with
no.
there's
nothing else. There is nothing else on the burgers. Add your own ketchup and mustard. Bacon or cheese. Those are the options at Krug's. And it's just a great place. It's a great place to hang out. Owned by the LaMotta family and related to Jake LaMotta, who was, of course, Robert De Niro in Raging Bull. So it's in that family.
All right. We're down to 2 finalists. There are all these burger shop owners who are very nervous right now. Will they be one of these last 2 or not? Again, if you didn't make the final list, props to you. There were so many good burgers Pete was choosing from. These are the 10 that really stood out. Number 9
is El Matador at Bareburger in Hoboken. Kind of a little surprise here. This is not Hoboken. I know they're still mad at me for not being any of the bars in the final. They didn't some finalists, but not in the final 10. So hopefully they're not too mad at me anymore.
El Matador.
Bareburger is well known, a chain. They're the only chain really in our list. No, they're all over New York and D.C. I think there's only 2 in New Jersey, and it's El Matador, another Buffalo burger.
But again, this is the 2 Buffalo burgers on the list so far.
Again, I wasn't looking for a Buffalo burger, but it was a combination, a little spice. I think the Chipotle habanero with the spice and the heat, the Buffalo itself. Trying to remember what else was in there, but again, it was just a combination. I remember just saying a burger with a kick, but not sort of in your face, and great meat, great roll. And I think they were the ones. Somebody asked about French fries. I think they had some really kick butt French fries and onion rings there.
So there'll probably be a big crowd tonight at Bareburger in Hoboken. Congratulations to those folks. Pete, this is it, the last of the finalists. Bring it.
Here we go. The OC Burger at Old Causeway, Manahawkin. Another burger down the shore.
You had me at fried oysters when you told me about
oysters. Yeah, they do all kinds. You can get a basic burger there at the Old Causeway. Of course, a little background: Old Causeway, owned by the same people who own Mud City Crab House, which is right next door. They also own a few restaurants on Long Beach Island, and you can get a basic burger there. Great Angus beef burger, but they do a couple burgers with fish or shellfish combinations. Fried oyster, top the burger. A great sort of a sauce in there, which I forget right now. The big burger.
What's that flavor combination like? Because I love oysters. I love fried oysters, and that's interesting. That salty brininess with the beef. I assume is a really interesting combination.
Yeah, I mean, at first saw you think like oysters and burger, like how can they go together?
Sure.
But they did. I mean, they weren't. We went to some places where they sort of overwhelmed the meat with other things,
sure.
But the oysters just complement it really well. Just give you a nice sort of that juicy, the crunch, the saltiness. A little sweetness from the I think they're caramelized onions on there also, and it was just it's a texture, great sort of sensory experience. I think maybe that's a good way to describe it, a burger sensory experience.
All right, we started with 50 places. Pete tried multiple burgers in each of these places and has ultimately selected what he thinks are the 10 finest burgers in all of New Jersey for the final round. This is it. These are the 10 finalists. We're going to visit them again before we determine the big winner. Pete, let's just rattle through one more time.
Okay.
Quickly, the 10 finalists. Once again, congratulations to all of these places. You did an amazing job.
Really, this is very difficult to pick 10. It was impossible. Again, props to everyone.
And starting tomorrow, you'll be back again for the final round. So again, the 10 finalists are
OC Burger at the Old Causeway in Manahawkin, El Matador, Bareburger in Hoboken, the Bacon Cheeseburger at Krug's in Newark, Inside Out Burger at Kitchen 519 in Glendora, the Munster Cheeseburger at Loaded in Garwood, 5-Star Burger at Surefire Grill in Barnegat, and Cheeseburger with Monterey Jack at Blue Monkey Tavern in Merchantville.
Actually, I think you left off one more.
Oh,
that our PA over there has.
Oh, and the Buffalo Burger at Rocky Hill Inn at Rocky Hill.
Let's not forget
those. She was stealing the burger.
She's already Nicole,
there,
our Meerkat assistant here, is already making her list of places she's going to be trying because she's determined, like I suspect a lot of people are, to try all 10 of these burgers. Pete, let's just rattle through. Starting tomorrow, July 7th, you will go to 2 of these places a night.
Right. The schedule will be up at, and the winners will be up at 11 o'clock, I believe, today. And the schedule, starting at night. I think Saturday we might go during the day because it'll be a little easier. I've got the approval of the riders with the Munchamobile. So if you're at your favorite burger place, starting tomorrow through Saturday, you see a giant hot dog outside, come in, say hi, and certainly the schedule is published. Stop by and come by and show your support for your favorite place.
Go on NJ.com starting this afternoon, and you will be able to see the schedule pretty much exactly the time. I mean, give or take. You might traffic might delay you. But you'll be able to see when Pete and his crew of fellow eaters will be there tasting the burgers once again for the final round. Again, you're going to be doing 2 each day.
Through Saturday.
And then next week.
It's child's play now. I only have to eat 2 burgers a day instead of like 8.
kid stuff.
Yeah,
Your
please.
doctors can relax. And then next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, we announce the, again, live stream.
It's July 16th.
Wednesday
July
morning.
15th, excuse me.
Wednesday morning, we'll announce the winner. Oh, we forgot the most important thing. Starting
Wednesday.
today, also, people can vote for their Reader's Choice. There are two winners. I picked the grand prize winner, and there'll be a Reader's Choice winner, just like we did with bars. So starting today at 11 o'clock,
11
you
a.m.
can vote for your favorite bar. The voting will go all the way till next...
July 14th.
14th?
Yes,
Okay.
or 13th.
And then we picked
We'll
the...
fact check that. One of those days.
Just trust whatever's online. And then, so we picked the... so you can vote all week. You have a whole week, 10 days to vote for the Reader's Choice winner. And then the 15th, we picked the grand prize winner.
And we're gonna show up that night. We're gonna do it
live.